Hey, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Hey, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Hey, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Hey.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, again, nothing really crazy going on this past week as far as politics go or whatever. I saw that they're going to go ahead and go with all the tariffs, even though the left are throwing a fit about it. They tried to talk shit on Elon as he left the White House because his time for helping was done. I saw that several people were complaining about an old rumor that they were going to put a T-girl actor to play Zelda, a live action movie of Zelda, supposedly. Apparently they're going to try to do another Young Guns movie, which they're all like almost 70 years old, so I don't know how they're going to do all that crap, but whatever. I think that's pretty much about it that I've seen this past week. Let's get on to what I really want to talk to you about this week. I just got done playing this video game called Brigandine. It was for the PlayStation, PS1. Apparently there's a lot of lore behind it. I don't know all the game lore. I think it has to do with a lot of Japanese crap. I know they made a newer version of this, or a sequel. Hopefully eventually I'll get around to being able to play it. This one here, it's one of my favorite games for the PS1. It's a strategy game. If you watched my other game channel, or my other channel, I was doing some game vlogs of this game. It's a really great game. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. If you like turn-based war strategy type games, this is definitely your type of game. You basically have like several different kingdoms, and each kingdom is trying to attack each other and take their territory. There is a story that goes behind it. This is one of the unique war strategy games because in this one you get to summon like creatures to help you out on the battlefield, along with your leaders, your generals. And they get to every time, it's like every 10th level or whatever, they get to change class and they get new abilities and stuff like that. But really great, fun game. It's got RPG elements in it. Check it out if you want. I'm telling you, it's one of the classics. 2 thumbs up. Awesome game. Alright. So as I've said before, even if you don't watch the channel regularly, and you've only seen a couple videos, or you don't watch it at all, it only takes 2 seconds to hit that subscribe button. It doesn't affect you or your channel whatsoever. It just helps this channel grow. So please subscribe. Also, I have another channel. It's called Easy Does It. The link is in the About section. Check it out if you like gaming vlogs and reviews and reactions to other YouTube channels. Okay. Again, subscribe. So, here recently, I just got done watching a television show from the 80s. It ran from 85 to 86. I only had one season, and it was called The Misfits of Science. I had Courtney Cox in it when she was really young. I think it was one of her very first roles. Had Mark Miller in it. He played Johnny B. And then Kevin Hill's the big, tall, black dude. I mean, he's like 7 foot tall. He's more known for doing like character acting. Like, if you remember the movie Harry and the Hendersons, he's the one who played Harry. He's done a lot of other stuff too. But the show is basically centered around this guy. He's just goofy as hell. I didn't care for the main guy, the main actor. I thought he was I just didn't think he was great at all. He didn't resonate with me and the other characters. He didn't mesh well with everybody. Anyways, he's a scientist. He works on goofy experiments for this company, which is, if you ever watch the show Alf, is the dad from Alf. I can't remember his name. But he runs the company. The black guy, he's like he's another scientist that works with him. And throughout the show, the season, you're constantly seeing him in this lab at the very beginning. And they're doing experiments on all kinds of people within the lab. People have like certain abilities, special abilities and stuff. But you never see him talking to any of the other few scientists or people, except for one. There was a woman who had telepathic powers, and there was a couple of episodes where she was kind of annoying to him, but she didn't last the whole episode. It's just a few bit parts. Johnny B and I can't remember what they call Courtney Cox's character, but these two, Courtney Cox had like telekinesis or some shit like that, and then Johnny B, he kind of half-ass controlled electricity a little bit. His weakness was water. He couldn't deal with water. It'd burn him like acid or some shit. And then the tall black guy, he could shrink himself. He did that to himself. He took some experimental drug, and now he could shrink himself. All he has to do is tap the back of his neck, and he'd shrink. And then I think it lasted an hour, and then he'd be back to normal. Which kind of was an inconvenience for him, because he'd have to change clothes and crap all the time. He mentioned that several times. And then there was one other main cast member, and that was the woman who was like the youth group counselor for Courtney Cox, because she was kind of like a troubled teen, but whatever. Anyways, they would go around and try to help people out, the Misfits of Science. And that was pretty much the show. They just went around helping people if somebody need help. And of course the government was all the time screwing with them because they knew who they were. They got publicized because they helped some people. You know, the first or second episode, everybody was cheering for them, like, oh, it's the Misfits of Science. It's like everybody, like they were almost like a superhero team, kind of. It was kind of weird. But the show was okay. It was alright. It could have been done way, way better. It was, the way they did the story was pretty cheesy. It just didn't work right. And I guess that's why it only lasted one season. Like I said, it could have been done so much better. It had potential. You had some decent actors in this. So it wasn't that horrible. It was just, it was executed wrong. Like I said, it had potential, but they screwed it up. Other than that, you know, I thought it was a good show. You have that 80s nostalgia with the music and shit. I give it 2 thumbs up. It's definitely worth a one-time watch. Check it out. Alright, let's get on to your B-movie reviews. Okay, movie holics, this week is Fantasy Week. We're continuing on with the Scorpion King franchise. The third one was done in 2012. It went straight to video. It was called Battle for Redemption. Now they've replaced The Rock with some guy named Victor Webster. And the main lead was Crystal V. This also had Ron Perlman in it, and it also had Billy Zane. And I can't ever remember his name. The guy that plays Boba Fett and Jango Fett. I can't think of his name. It's a weird name, so anyway, he's in it as well. Ron Perlman and Billy Zane are basically brothers in this. Excuse me. The older brother, played by Ron Perlman, is king of this one kingdom. Billy Zane, the younger brother, went and conquered a kingdom and now is coming back to finish conquering his brother's kingdom and taking over for it. The Boba Fett guy, or whatever his name is, I can't remember his name. Like I say, I can't remember his name. He's a king of another kingdom who's allies with Ron Perlman. Now, he controls what's called the Book of the Dead. But you got to have a certain amulet or whatever, necklace or whatever, in order to use the Book of the Dead. The princess has this, Boba Fett's. I'm going to refer to him as that because I can't think of his name. His daughter has the necklace. Now, he promises the Scorpion King his daughter's hand in marriage if he gets back the necklace so that Billy Zane cannot use the Book of the Dead. Well, he fails. Even the main king, Ron Perlman, sends the Scorpion King with a buddy, some German dude, big, goofy, oafy looking motherfucker, called Olaf. You know, they're two companions on this adventure looking for gold. They're mercenaries. Apparently, he lost his kingdom from the first movie, and his wife dies, the sorceress. So he's no longer the king. Or he's still known as the Scorpion King, but he's no longer a king. Anyhow, they find out that the princess is actually the leader of this mercenary work group of ninjas, and she calls herself Cobra. You know, yeah, they introduced ninjas into the Scorpion Gang, like, whatever. They're out in the middle of the jungle, too, so it makes no sense, but whatever. They're not in the desert. Anyways, the Scorpion King, he has to fight off 3 undead warriors from the Book of the Dead that Billy Zane conjures up. He defeats them. You know, Batista is one of them. He defeats them and then ends up, you know, getting the amulet, becoming king, and then the Warriors of the Dead, they side with him. And that's the end of the movie. If you ever remember the show called Hercules with Kevin Sorbo, it was that kind of 90s cheese. It was really bad. You ever seen a reenactment for a Civil War? That's what it looked like when they were having the army. One guy had 30 men for his army, the other one had like 30 men for his army, and they were wearing like cosplay uniforms and go. It was really cheesy, really cheesy. The WWE had some involvement in this movie. It was okay, but it wasn't that great. I give it a thumbs up and a thumbs down. It may be worth a one-time watch, if that. Okay, moving on to the fourth Scorpion King, which is called Quest for Power, and it was done in 2015. It went straight to video, so no box office numbers. Victor reprises his role as Scorpion King, and then you have this woman who's supposedly a writer and actress named Ellen Hallman. I've never even heard of her or seen her before. I thought she was a wrestler at first because, you know, WWE's involved in these movies. Now, in this movie, Rutger Hauer plays this king that the Scorpion King works for, and he sends him on a quest for peace, because at the very beginning they steal some type of freaking key of some wizard king that was all powerful and no one could defeat him, and united most of the kingdoms of the world and became an ultimate ruler, and then he just disappeared, and so did his magical items that he had. One in particular called a magical crown or some shit. It'd do all kinds of crap. Like he couldn't be hurt by fire. He'd call upon ice and wind, and he could float. You know, this weird shit. But anyways, they end up having to go after this thing because he has an apprentice at the beginning of the movie who betrays him, who's actually the son of this other king, and then he kills his father and betrays him so he could become king, and then he like tries to kill the Scorpion King, and then follows him to find this treasure of this ancient wizard king or some shit. Anyways, she's involved. She gets involved in it and everything because her father's supposedly the rightful king instead of the son who's pretending to be the king. And then her father's like this mad inventor or some shit. They go and he deciphers this gold key that's supposed to lead him to this sorcerer's tomb with all his magical items. They eventually find it, and they end up killing everybody, and they lock away all the magical items, including the key, into this hidden chamber in the mountain that's supposed to be the tomb of the Sorcerer King. And that's the end of the movie. This one was even worse than 3 with the cheesiness. They had to have the bitch fight. You know, there's a point in the movie where she's wanting this map or whatever, and this old man tells her, well, you gotta fight so and so, and it's another girl, and they have like this, and they're doing wrestling moves. That's why it's WWE influencing it. They're just doing wrestling moves inside this cage match. It was so cringe. It was really bad. But anyways, the jokes were terrible. It was worse than Hercules. It was really bad. I did not like this one. It was terrible. I give this one 2 thumbs down. Okay. That's all I have for you this week. If you have any thoughts about what I talked about earlier in the video, please leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. If you think of any B-rated, underrated, or movies you think I've never even heard of, please leave your suggestions down in the comment section down below, and I'll get to reviewing them as soon as I can. So until next time, I told you you'd be told the truth, and you just been told.